So this has somehow become a bad habit for me. Every time I sit down with the computer and in my room, it's because I want to give you context for the video that I'm uploading next, because there's been a while since my last video. In fact, it's 5 weeks, I think so, and that was just before Nationals, the day before, and I'm gonna start there. There's a great meet. I'm also going to make a video. I'm not gonna explain, I'm just gonna make a montage and then put it up. That's gonna be the video following this. And in general, it was actually a good competition. Like, I only finished 5th, but the other guys really did their best and had, like, for example, massive high jumps, and I just couldn't keep up with that. The other thing is that I haven't progressed like in every single discipline that much since last year. Like, my hurdles were only a few hundreds faster and the pole vault was 10 centimeters higher, but the difference is that the way I do it, like, I run the hurdles now where we can see potential and know where to attack, quite literally which hurdle to attack next, where we can evolve as an athlete, and therefore, or by doing that, making a better result. The pole vault only managed to jump 10 centimeters higher than last year, but I had a big attempt on 380. The problem this winter has just been we haven't had big enough poles, like we don't have them at the facility in Randers where I jump. So that's a problem, and we're going to buy some new poles because we need that. But thank you to Sparta and Nikolai Granbeck for lending me the poles, their poles, because that gave me a good attempt on 380 and a lot of confidence leading into the next pole vault competition. Next result was a shot put, and I mean, I won the competition. Had a massive shot put, almost 15 meters, I'm pretty sure it was. And you know, I got the crowd going, and it was just great. My last throw, where I really knew I had to leg it to get a big one out there, I almost lost the balance in my start position, but I actually managed to throw the shot quite far in that attempt. And then in the high jump, which is the 4th event, the other guys just did some massive jumps, and I couldn't keep up with that. And in the past and now, high jump has been one of my weaker events. We are going to work on that, and just like the hurdles, we do see a lot of potential, and that's just exciting to me. And then, you know, we finish up with 1,000 meters, and that's a love-hate relationship. You know, when you're done with 1,000 meters, you're done with the competition. And the problem with me is that I'm not that good at the 1,000 meters, and we have sort of tracked it down to 3 things. The one is that when I train alone, which means I can only keep up with myself and not like chasing others. The second thing is that my stride, or my stride is not that bouncy, so I use too much energy on every stride. That's a problem. Like, you see the Kenyans, they run on their forefoot all the time for a full marathon. I'm not saying that, but that's probably something we're going to work on. And then lastly, I mean, that's quite obvious that I don't have enough race experience to be really pushing myself and digging really deep in the 1,000 meters. And I think of course that comes with training, so you can run more confident at a certain pace, but it's also like you have to run a certain amount or numbers of races over 400 meters to be good at them. I mean, that's pretty common sense. But after a good competition, a good weekend with the boys in Randers, we packed our suitcases and we left for St. Moritz in Switzerland for the Omega Youth Training and Competition, an event hosted by IBSF. That's how it's supposed to sound. And I like the track down there. If you didn't know, that's where the Olympics will be driven in 2020. And in general, it's a good track. I had some problems in the top, and I finished 7th in the competition, which is an historical placing for Danish bobsled and skeleton. But if you know me, you also know that I am not satisfied with that. I felt like I've been driven better in training, and then the other guys just, it was almost like they woke up on competition and then they were just a lot better than me. And there's not a lot you can do about it. That can be due to materials and stuff like that. But as long as you bring your A game, that's good, but I just didn't feel like it. And for me, that's quite good, because the other week or the next week was in Koenigsee in Bavaria, where we were doing the second week of training and competition. And I happened to come away with this piece of glass there. I don't know if you can see it. It says second place, and if 7th place the week before had been a historical moment, this was for sure. The first heat, I only managed to drive the 5th fastest time, but there was only a few hundreds up to second place, and I was like, okay, I think I can do this. I just, in the locker room, in between the races, I just sat there calm, thinking about the track, because I hadn't driven optimal in the first run. And I knew if I could execute in the second run, I would be good, and I would eventually see how high up the rankings I would go. And I drove my race. It was pretty good. My father, he was standing at the finish line, and he ran up to the finish house, it's called, and he was woohoo! And I knew it was a good race, he knew it was a good race, so we just waited and saw what came out of that. And first one guy drove slower than me, then another guy, and then so on. And lastly, I was standing on the second highest placing on the podium, so that was a really big moment, not just for me, but for my father, my family, and my team. And I'm looking forward to hopefully getting more moments like those in the future, in the very near future maybe, but nonetheless in the future. Then we got home and we were like, okay, we want to get another week of training this season. The problem was just that we didn't have any money. So we decided to do a crowdfunding, and I was skeptical about this decision because I did not want to put a crowdfunding out there and only getting like 1,200 Danish bucks. But we decided to do so, and eventually we got 16,852 Danish crowns on this campaign, and that was 52 different people donating, 53 people donating to our campaign. And that means we're heading for Lillehammer. Actually tonight we're driving to Copenhagen, because I'm doing something interesting, very interesting tomorrow, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, but I'm gonna put it out here at some time. And that means we will get another almost full week of driving in Lillehammer. We went there in March as well, and I did get not an injury, but you know, my shoulder got beaten pretty badly, and I look forward to driving there, hopefully better this time. This was an update video. It happened to be a bit long. I don't know if you've stuck with me for these past 8 minutes, but the next video is going to be from Nationals. After that, from St. Moritz. I just finished the video yesterday, so that's a pretty good video, I think. So otherwise from that, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, although there's not much to enjoy, just my talk. But I'll see you next time. Bye.